What's up? This is Kong from X Faders, and in this video we're going to go over the channel fader start found on the Pioneer DDJ-SZ models as well as the DDJ-SX. So the inspiration for this video actually came from the Pioneer S11. I really enjoy using the dual deck mode on that mixer. For me, it was a game changer. So I wanted to look a little bit more into the channel fader start on the SZ in hopes that it will give me a little bit of the feel of the dual deck mode. Before we get started, I wanted to mention that this information can be found in the SZ2 manual on page 22. But the goal for this video was to show you this feature in use, as well as give you some ideas so that you can implement it into your sets. And drop me a line down there in the comment section if you were already familiar with this, or you've been using it in your live sets, or you just started playing around with the feature in general and need a little bit more information about it. With that bit of information out of the way, let's get started. The channel fader start can be found on channels 1 through 4, as well as can be activated by the crossfader by simply holding the shift button on the controller. You'll see that the Q buttons will light up to let you know that the mode has changed. And this feature is actually controlled by the Q, not the hot Q. So if you hit any of your hot Q pads and try and enable it, it will not work properly. What you actually need to do is set a Q point. So what you can do is rotate the platter to the point where you want the track to start. Once you have it lined up, hit the Q button on the corresponding deck. You'll see the white arrows similar to a hot Q point. But when you actually hold shift and open the fader, it will start from that point. Now, if you want to use your hot cues to jump back to a particular spot, all you have to do is hit the Q button again to mark that as your beginning point. For a quick demonstration, you can actually start the track with the Upfader as well as the Crossfader. Currently right now, track 1 or channel 1 is actually set to A. So anytime I open up the fader towards A, it will start the track over. Same thing applies with the Upfader. When you close it, it will stop the track, and when you open it back up, it will start it. On channel 2, I just loaded an instrumental. So on channel 1, we still have the Dance Everybody, the Jermaine Dupri, I guess, startup. And on channel 2, we have this instrumental here. So by opening up the channel 1, we can start it, but remember the crossfader has to be open as well to hear it. And by closing the crossfader to A or cutting off B will stop the track, the instrumental. And of course, when you move it back towards the middle, it'll start it back up again. And again, just demoing the fact that you can use the channel faders as well. Closing them all the way up will turn off the track. Turning it all the way up will also give you the audio back. You can actually do a fade as well with that by simply opening it up a little bit, then open it up a little bit more the next time. For channel 3 and 4, you kind of have an advantage because you're able to set it to be A through or B. And that applies to all the channels, but your primary channels is going to be 1 and 2. But 3 and 4, you can set those as you see fit. So as you can see here, I'm showing you that the crossfader does not have any control over 3 because it's currently set to through. The only thing that's going to start the track and stop it will be closing the Upfader. Now, currently channel 4 is set to B, and I just moved it over to through. So as you can see here, it's not controlled by the crossfader, but changing it to B, it will actually work in conjunction with channel 2. So as you can see here, I'm just confirming that both are set to B now. So when I open up the Upfader on both of these channels 2 and 4, it starts both the tracks at the same time. So they're automatically in sync, considering that the BPMs are the same. And we'll get into that towards the end of the video, an easy way that you can set tracks to automatically sync. But currently the controller is not set up to do so. So you're going to have to adjust the BPMs yourself. To make some changes to this setup for the channel fader start, you have to place the controller in utility mode. So remove the USB cable from it, press and hold the shift button and the play button on the left side and power it on. This will place the controller into utility mode, allow you to make some changes to the settings. If you want to see the top 5 features for this controller or advanced features for this controller, check out my other video up here in the top right corner, which will give you a little bit more settings in the utility mode. But for this video, we're going to focus on changing the fader start setting. So the top buttons for the FX, the top 3 buttons for the FX will allow you to control the configuration of it. This information can be found in the SZ manual as well on page 27. So what this does for you is if the first effect button is lit, the fader start will be in sync mode. If you select the second button, the fader start is without sync mode, and the third button actually disables the function completely. So I'm pretty sure you don't want to hit that button if you're interested in using the fader start functionality. Once you've made your selection, just go ahead and power off the controller and plug in the USB cable and start it back up and test it out. That's my quick overview of the channel's fader start. So let me know if you have any additional questions. If you were able to do this and you created a mix, definitely share it with me and everybody else. I would love to see what you've come up with. So with a little bit of practice, I'm sure you'll have some amazing sets as well as creative intros and outros. So that's it for me. Please like, share, and subscribe, and check us out on the website at www.xfaders.com.